Hey y'all, it is Thursday, August 6th, and it's about about 10 after 8. This is my third attempt because I keep screwing it up. um, I watched a very short 15-minute podcast section this morning on my way to work, and it was with Ed Mylett on the Shetty podcast. And he was talking about one more. Like one more day or one more phone call or one more interview closer to where you want to be. And I thought that was kind of cool. It was, it's kind of like when the kids were little and they were looking forward to the weekend or looking forward to going somewhere or looking forward to, whatever. I would say, oh, you just got one more sleep and then tomorrow we get to do this. So that one more, versus the, think of this as your last day. That would be a very bad thing because I can think of a lot of people who would do really bad things on their last day if they knew. Chris, can you imagine if somebody said, this is your last day, and then tomorrow they say, oh, just kidding. You'd have to put up with everything you did the day before. But anyway, so I was listening to that and I thought that was really very interesting, talking about how people look forward or how a lot of people look backwards on their memories. They look back and say, okay, well, this was great, that was great, but they don't look forward. They live in the past. And, the past has its place. You learn from it. It can be, great memories to kind of help boost a little bit, but you don't live there. You live in the future, in the now, and you go towards the future. So, he's like, pick a dream, find a dream, have a dream, whether it's being a CEO of a company or, I want to be a movie star, or I want to be a rock singer, or I want to be a scientist, or, whatever. You pick what you want, and then you take your steps towards it. And every step you take, it's one more closer. So it's like, okay, I'm getting closer. Instead of sitting there thinking, okay, I've got 10 years of school before I can do this. 10 years. You think about it and you're like, oh my God. But after that first year's done, you're like, I got 1 year closer. And then the next year, I got 2 years. I'm 1 year closer. And the next year, 1 year closer. Pretty soon, you're at your graduation date. And now you are that scientist or that doctor or that lawyer or, the marketing agent. You're whatever you wanted to be. And now you're there. But you have to take it that one step at a time. And that's something that is so hard for all of us, me included, to keep in mind and to remember. That's very, very hard. So you just have to kind of break it down into steps. Another one that I was watching was, it was just a short, Simon Sinek. He was doing a talk with somebody, and of course, he's one of my favorites. And the talk was about, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered for the money you made? Do you want to be remembered for the house you lived in, for the job you had, the projects you did? Or do you want to be remembered for the person you were? And, for example, I have somebody in my life that is, talking about how important one aspect is of the job when really they're focused on the other aspect. The other aspect being, so that one's a tough one because he's not leaving a good impression of what the character is. For example, I would hope that when I pass, I certainly won't be remembered for the money I made. I won't be remembered for the house I live in. I won't be remembered for, probably won't even really be remembered for the job that I had. But I would hope that I'd be remembered for being a positive influence on people. I would hope. Or at least someone who made somebody's day feel better. I would not mind being known as or remembered for being the chicken lady. I wouldn't mind that. I would hope that I would have a good connotation associated with my name. You know, I would hope. And that's all I can do is push toward being that person that I want to be remembered for. You know, I don't want to be remembered as a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be remembered as, you know, a jerk. I don't want to be remembered that way. I don't really even care if I'm remembered as being, you know, making money or maybe making it as a CEO of a company. You know, but I don't want that. I want people to remember me for being kind, for being honest, for being loving, for being happy and positive. You know, all the things that I strive to be, you know. I strive to have, you know, my integrity. I strive to have my ethics. That's a huge one for me. But yeah, so I mean, you have to think, what kind of a person do I want to be remembered as being? And then push towards that and be that person. Because at the end of the day, like he says, you know, you eventually will retire or get fired or quit or, you know, and that all goes away. But who you are as a person, you'll be that way till the day you go. So how do you want to be remembered? You know? So that's my deep thoughts for Thursday morning. So yeah, getting ready to head off for the day. Getting ready to start the day. I'm already here. How did I get here? I had my coffee when I got here, so I don't remember the ride over. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. And if I don't talk to you before, have a great weekend. Love you guys. Bye.